Welcome back everyone. Today we're race prepping. We got to turn these logs down. They're about 18, 19 inches so far. We're going to go to an even 16 for the bike saws. And we've had this old Niles lathe here for a while, so we finally got it hooked up. And we're going to use it outside, keep the mess out here, to turn our bike logs. What are these? 102, 103 inches long. This is about a 36-inch chuck, so we're going to cross our fingers. We got a light cut set. We'll see how long it takes to get all the way down. Once the carriage gets there, we'll move the tractor out of the way. But it's just set up here, temporary. We're on wood timbers, turning some wood, so it ought to do what we need. But we'll get it fired up. Hope that everything throws chips like it's supposed to. So we got our first rough turned on. It's definitely going to be peeling and chipping. We'll see what it does once we get it full round. But we're going to crank it back, try and move it in probably a ½ inch to an inch, and just let it take a good cut. See what it does. That's all we can really do. But we have 2 of these to do. So we'll get this cranked back, set the cut, and we'll do it again. This is where I wish the rapid was on. Oh.
It is on.
Huh?
It is on.
What do you mean this on?
You.
Oh, I ain't feeling very rapid. Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
Hey.
I made it.
Now you can flare the other angle.
I made it. Now I get to crank this one.
I would, but I'm a greaser. I'm a welder. Maintenance. Oiler. Every job needs a good oiler. Gears were making a lot of noise.
Alright, we'll see what this cut does.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah, already quieter. A little bit of grease went a long way. Oh, it's going to be hungry. Watch your eyeballs.
And every 6 inches draw a Sharpie mark. Then you have to cut to the next flying fuck up there. You're up there.
Yeah, there's a big one out there.
That's holes. Oh, it ain't cleaned up. Should be 16 3/4.
Alright, so for the first time ever using it, got our log down to 16 inches. Looks like we have about 30 thousandths of taper, which sitting on timbers, not lining tailstock, anything. That's not going to matter, but you know, we're used to checking those kinds of things. But we got it all turned 16 inches. Everything seemed to work well. And it's kind of a good thing this was outside. We got quite the pile of peelings off of this. Had some chips, some peels. But we'll get this one pulled out, get the other log swapped in, repeat the process. Alrighty, here we are, day 2. We got log number 2 all set up. Nice cool morning today. Still probably about 75 degrees. But a lot cooler than yesterday. Had some rain overnight. Got everything all blowed off, oiled up. And we're going to get log number 2 turned. Now I think if I'm going to do more of these, I'd like to get some kind of a motor, a peeler, attachment that will go in the tool post. Run like a high-speed cutter head so the log can turn. We can really take a nice cut with the cutter head instead of a single point high-speed bit. But this works, does what we have. This log here, on this end it peeled out a little bit, so it's about 17 inches. I'm not sure if we'll get a true 16 all the way to the chuck, but we'll see. It's got a couple of big spots. I'll take a light cut, try and get it all round at least. And I'm really not trying to push it because I don't know how much it'll actually take off. I imagine it'll peel a pretty good chip, but I don't want it to grab too much and split a big chunk out either. That's where the high-speed rotary head will come in. But so just a little bit about this big old beast. It does have 16-foot center, so we could put a 16-foot plus log in there. 36-inch chuck, but they lifted it. We got a riser block in the headstock, tailstock tool post. So this will actually turn 48 inches before you get into the bed. You could probably turn about 38, 40 inches and still get the carriage to clear under it, but it will turn 48 inches before it actually gets into. So originally this was a 36-inch by 192-inch centers, so the bed is a little bit longer than that, but it weighs right about 23,000 pounds. We can just pick it up with our big lift. It gets pretty tippy, but we can move it around. Show you a little bit up close about it before we fire it up. So you can see we don't actually peel. Well, it does peel, but it doesn't actually pull a chip. It just kind of smears and shreds until we get there. Niles Tool Works, Hamilton, Ohio is where this originated. Some of the feeds and speeds. Let's see. We have 3.94, 5.64, 8.24, 11.8, 16.9, 24.7, 37, 53, 77. So it looks like we're spinning about 77 RPM there. 111, 159, 232 is as fast as this one goes. And like I said, you can see down here they made a riser block at one point in its life to turn bigger material. We had to make Just a quick little chuck key to get these tight. It's got the big 4-jaw chuck. You know, so we lose a little bit clamping on it, but I didn't want it to go anywhere. It has the one angled way and the flatbed there to guide the carriage. Same thing, riser block on the tool post. Just bolt-in style, or just using a high-speed steel blank. That's a 1-inch blank, hanging out a little bit. Number 6 taper. Yeah, 4 bolts to clamp the tailstock. It's got the high-speed rack down here. One thing I wish we did have. I wish we did have the rapid traverse. We don't have that hooked up. I don't think that works. That screw's messed up, so we got to hand crank it. And that's a long way. Like I said, our log is 102, 103, and we still have plenty of bed behind it. But there it is, the old Niles lathe. Does a pretty good job, 30 horse. That's a 36-inch chuck. So maybe we'll, now that we got it all hooked up, all we gotta do is plug it in. Maybe we'll turn some actual test logs later down the road. If we get some big round chunks, we can turn some nice round true test logs. But let me know what you think of this old beast, and we'll get this second log all turned and ready for a race at the Mason Outdoor Expo. I'm just curious what kind of cut it was actually taking on this roughing cut. Let's see. So we're just about 1.25 inches max right there. Like I said, it's not cutting it, it's definitely tearing the fiber, but it's getting it out of the way, making it round. So we'll get this fired back up, finish this cut, make a couple more, and we'll have a nice round log. on the second log here, wearing a little bit of rust off the ways and or tightening the tailstock down a little bit different. We only had about 10 thousandths taper end to end on this one instead of the 30, so, and that is the best we can measure with a mic on a fuzzy piece of wood. But overall, pretty happy with the way these turned out, and now we know we can do it again for next time and or make some test logs.